Welcome, everybody, to the Sunday edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast. My name is Metal Mike, and today we got a list of players that were put out that are expected to progress in 2026, meaning go up from where they're leveled at right now and ranked as players. And there's a full defense on this list as well. Not just one player, a full team defense on this list as well. And we are going to get into that list. Plus, we're going to talk about all the news coming out of the world of football. But before we do, new look, everybody. Look at that. New background, new look. And, yeah. Now, obviously, we have the same logo. There you go. Put the same logo up top. On the left-hand corner there, that is the Huddle Hub logo. The logo in the on the top center is not a new logo. It's just, got a new background, a little bit of a new look here on the Huddle Hub podcast. So I'm pretty excited about this. I'm pretty excited about this new look. It looks pretty cool. I like it, and I hope you guys do too. And yeah, before we get into everything, make sure you're heading over to the Huddle Hub Podcast over on social media, over on TikTok, Instagram, X, and on Epic Studios at the Huddle Hub Pod. You're going to hit that follow button over on the YouTube. You're going to hit that subscribe button. That's how you follow on the YouTube. I know not, and all of our social media links are in the Twitch bio as well. I know not everybody uses every social media, so you just click on the one you desire to go to and help us build the Huddle Hub Podcast through the rest of the 2026 NFL offseason and beyond. So, first off, happy 4th of July weekend. Yesterday was the 4th of July, the 250th birthday of the United States of America. And hope everybody stayed safe. Hope everybody had fun. You could still stay safe while having fun. And we've made this point many of times on this show. Why? Because as of late, we see in the news that a lot of these young NFL players just in the league, just coming into the league a year or two ago, even just this year, we've seen players getting in a bunch of trouble. The latest is Terrion Arnold, cornerback of the formerly of the Detroit Lions. And, I'm sitting back thinking about it yesterday and thinking about that phrase of, stay safe, but you could still have fun. And it's true. It's true. And no matter what you consider fun, for example, me, I played some Pokemon Go yesterday because there was a community day and that is the celebration of 10 years of Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go has been around since July 7th, 2016. So in 2 days, on Tuesday, is going to be the official 10-year anniversary of Pokemon Go. But they're doing an event right now, and then next weekend they'll be doing another celebration event just surrounding Pikachu. So you can catch a bunch of event Pokemon like Eevee with a birthday hat on, Pikachu with a birthday hat on, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. Okay. And I'm playing Pokemon Go, and I'm like, man, I'm having a lot of fun today. Like, this is fun. I did the community day when it started at 2:00. And then it got a little hot, and I came home. And then I went back down to the park to try and watch some fireworks before we got hit with a massive storm during fireworks. And so plan on going to watch fireworks tonight to make up for last night because it got stormed out. But, I'm sitting there thinking, having fun. I'm having fun doing what I want to do, and I'm staying safe. It was 100 degrees outside. I made sure I had water and stuff to keep me hydrated while I was walking around. Stay safe. Have fun. So it's possible, and this is the point I'm trying to make, because you want to make smart decisions too. And it hurts to see, again, and we've talked about this many times, these players in the NFL who are out doing not so smart stuff and getting in trouble. And yeah, they want to live their lives. But be smart about it. Be safe about it. And yeah. So we're going to get into the news of things. First, not a lot of news coming out of the world of football. You know, again, 4th of July weekend, not a lot happening. I mean, we obviously got the big news coming out of New York that we're going to talk about in a minute, but I'm trying to take a note here. Hold on a second. So this is actually the first thing we could talk about. After I take this note. Okay. All right. So let's get into the news of things. First off, speaking of Terrion Arnold, the former cornerback of the Detroit Lions, he mentioned that he is going to be on a roster within the next 30 days. He's claiming that all this stuff that he's going through right now with his legal troubles are not going to affect him from being picked up by a team. Now, he can be picked up by a team. Okay, so he can join a roster now, you know, since Detroit released him. And he feels that he will be a part of a roster within the next 30 days before we get to training camp, because as of last week, you know, we're a little less than a month away from training camp starting. So he feels he's going to be a part of a roster. And I'm going to say this right now. I don't think he's going to be signed within the next 30 days. Okay, a lot of teams are going to wait to see what the outcome is of all this stuff. I think they are going to wait and see if his legal troubles end up getting him in even more trouble or if he's cleared. Now, he's claiming, obviously, you know, you're going to claim that you're not guilty. I mean, that's pretty much 99% of the people. 99% of people claim they're not guilty. And then you sometimes have people that do admit they're guilty. Like they did whatever they're being accused for. But he is claiming that he's not guilty. He did none of this stuff, that he wasn't associated with it, anything like that. I think teams are going to wait until the investigation's done. I think teams are going to wait until, you know, a decision is made on him. I mean, obviously, right now he made the $1 million bail, and there was that fight of keeping an ankle bracelet off him so he can go play football. He can go play football. It's fine, but I think it's under the discretion of the teams in the NFL, and I don't think anybody's going to want to sign him right now. Now, once things get completed, and let's say he gets found not guilty and it gets dismissed, then teams are going to jump. We are going to see a laundry list of teams battling to sign this guy. And I know one team that's not going to be able to. Well, they would be able to, but I know one team that's not going to, and that's going to be the Detroit Lions. Now, if Terrion Arnold loved being in Detroit and he understands why Detroit did what they did, and he chooses to go back to Detroit, then it may, you know, it is what it is. But I think that's the one team that might be left out of the equation is the Detroit Lions, because of the fact they cut him, you know. And I mean, I'll say this. I mean, Detroit, again, I don't blame them for doing what they did, for cutting him. But at the same time, you know, just think, Detroit, you made this move now. If things get thrown out and found not guilty and everything like that, I wouldn't be one of those teams going to beg to him for him to come back, especially if he's holding that little ill will against you for cutting him. And you could have probably just put him on a pup list or something. You could have just put him on the on a list to, you know, an unofficial retirement list or something. You know, keep him on the roster, but he's, you know, not allowed in the building, not allowed at practice, not allowed to be around the team, anything like that. That, I think, probably would have been the better move for the Detroit Lions to make as an organization. But at the same time, you got to kind of understand why they did what they did. So we'll have to keep our eye on Terrion Arnold and see if any teams do end up picking him up in the next 30 days or not. Edge rusher of the Las Vegas Raiders, Max Crosby, is in the news. Trade rumors of Max Crosby are arise. And the team that has the most suspicion of him going to is the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the last time we talked about Max Crosby getting traded, the 49ers were on this list. I know the Philadelphia Eagles were on this list. And there was one other team that was on the list. I think it was Detroit. I think Detroit was on that list as well. I mean, three teams who are arguably, Super Bowl contenders want to get Max Crosby to help their pass rush. Okay. The 49ers seem to be the front runner right now for this to happen. Again, some sources, they'll say this team, some sources, they'll say that team, and then some sources just don't know what they're talking about, period. It's different mixed up. So I'll say this. I look at certain sources when it comes to getting my source for news to talk about. Okay. And the source that I got this from, I'm 50-50 on. So I don't know how true this really is, but I'll give them the 50% on the true side than on the not true side. Okay. But we'll have to see if Max Crosby ends up getting traded before the kickoff of the 2026 NFL season. So the other day we talked about Chris Johnson, the former All-Pro running back, was diagnosed with ALS, and he came out public with it. You've seen the very emotional interview with Michael Strahan. If you have not, go watch it. It's very emotional. I mean, the man, like I said the other day, the man is a warrior. Like what he is doing, even just how he's communicating, everything. This man is a warrior. And he put an announcement out that he wants to revive the Ice Bucket Challenge. If you don't remember, back about 10 years ago, there was something called the Ice Bucket Challenge, and it was for ALS research and everything. The more videos that got out there and everything, money was raised, all this stuff, right? Famous people were doing it. And what you did was you grabbed a decent sized bucket, you filled it up with ice and water. You waited about 5 minutes, let the water get super cold, and then you shout out who you want to challenge next. You pick 3 people, you shout them out, and then you tag them in the video, and then you pour the bucket of water on your head. You got to do it on video, and say challenge out to you. You're next, okay? He wants to bring that back. I did it back about 10 years ago when the first Ice Bucket Challenge was happening. I did it, and let me say this. I think I'm going to do it again, and if I do, I will post it on the Huddle Hub social media. That's where it's going to go, so you guys can see, and then we could start showing our support here for Chris Johnson with his diagnosis of ALS, and support the efforts and research for ALS. Okay, so last bit of news: Travis Kelce, tight end of the Kansas City Chiefs, and Taylor Swift. As we know, we've seen Taylor Swift on our TV screens many a times during Chiefs games. Well, they officially got married on Friday, July 3rd, out in New York City at Madison Square Garden. Man, did I see videos upon videos upon videos upon live streams of people in New York City. Just, man, they shut that city down for that wedding. Insane. You're a big deal when they shut down a city for you. Like, they shut down the whole city for this. Security was insane. I mean, you couldn't get anywhere if you were driving, at Times Square or anything like that. Oh, man. Congratulations to Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift for getting married. It's official. And now Taylor Swift will be officially on our television screens for the foreseeable future of Kansas City Chiefs games while Travis Kelce is playing. And I think we've all gotten used to it. That's the thing. I don't think it's something to really complain about anymore. It's something we just got used to. And now it's like, okay, Chiefs game is going to be on TV. Taylor Swift's going to be there. And we knew it. So she's going to be there for the foreseeable future. And that's it. There it is. So I'm just trying to check to see if we have anything else to talk about. News not very big today. Again, it's the 5th of July. It's the day after the holiday. You still consider this the holiday weekend, I guess. Not much is really going down. The past couple days, past couple weeks has been kind of rough with news because not a lot of stuff has come out. Joey Chestnut won the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. He ate 66 hot dogs yesterday. He makes this was his 18th eating contest win. That is nuts. 18 contests on the 4th of July. He wins 18. That is nuts. Now, the person that came in second place, Patrick Bertoletti, ate 51. And James Webb in third place, ate 47.5. That is crazy. I know there was also a lemonade chugging contest as well. They added that into it. And, I watched that. And I don't know how the guy that won this contest was able to just chug lemonade like that. All the acidic in that. My acid reflux would be freaking. I like lemonade, but not that much. It's nuts. Oh, man. All right, guys, we're going to take about a 30-second break here on the Huddle Hub podcast. Now, I wasn't able to actually, let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can get this logo up because I was supposed to send a logo to myself today that to put up during the commercial breaks, and I forgot to do it. And let's see if I can do it. Let's do medium. Let's see if I can get the standby logo up. I might be able to. Look at this. We're working while we're working. Working while we're working. See if I can get this. Okay. Download. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get this uploaded. I hit download, and it didn't download. One more time. Download. Okay. That. It might not let me do it during the show, too. It might not. Oh, there we go. Okay. Let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. That's for background. That's overlay. So I'm going to put up the Huddle Hub podcast show will begin soon thing for the commercial break this time around. But I'll make sure to have this, have the actual one up that I plan on putting up for you guys for commercial breaks today. So it's there for Tuesday. So we're going to take a quick commercial break here on the Huddle Hub podcast. We'll be right back after this, and we're going to get into the progression list that I have for you guys. So, be back in about 30 to 45 seconds here on the Huddle Hub podcast. right, so make sure you guys are heading over to the Huddle Hub Podcast over on social media after we get off air here today, over on TikTok, Instagram, X, and on Epic Studios at the Huddle Hub Pod. You're going to hit that follow button. Over on YouTube, you're going to hit the subscribe button. That's how you follow on the YouTube. And over on Twitch, all of our social media links are in the Twitch bio. You just click on the one you desire to go to, because I know not everybody uses every social media outlet, and help us build the Huddle Hub Podcast through the rest of the 2026 NFL offseason and beyond. Okay. So, yeah, I got to put up the new banner thing, which is going to be cool. I love this thing, and I'm going to see if I can show it to you guys really quick through my phone. And it's going to have, obviously, all of our social medias on there. That's what it's going to look like. So come Tuesday, that's going to be up there for the commercial breaks. Exciting news. Johnny H. plans on coming back Tuesday to the Huddle Hub Podcast. We are going to be breaking down each college football conference building up to the 2026 college football season. Okay, so we're going to do one conference a week. That's how we have it planned out. We're going to break things down, talk about the teams, talk about teams we think could progress this year, teams that could be better than they were last year, and pick a team that could win the conference. And we're going to start off with the Sun Belt Conference. Okay, now, as we know, James Madison was the team that won the Sun Belt Conference last year in 2025. So we're going to break it down. We're going to get things built up to the college football season on the Tuesday edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast. So stay tuned and head over to the Huddle Hub X for Showtime announcements. Okay. Now, if I end up I might also post a video on TikTok as well. That way, you guys know where the show is going to be, what time the show is going to be. I mean, on Tuesday. Okay, because John does work on Tuesdays. So it's primarily, we're going to wait until he gets home from work. He's going to settle in, and then we're going to go live. Okay, so, we'll have a time set for the Tuesday edition of the Huddle Podcast. Okay, so let's get into the player progression list. Okay, players and obviously a full side of the ball that's going to improve in 2026. This list came out the other day, and we're going to go down this list and we're going to talk about it. Okay, starting with the quarterbacks that are on this list. Number 1, Kyler Murray, the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, there's a lot of talk that the quarterback battle between him and J.J. McCarthy are pretty close, but they think that Kyler Murray, and a lot of people think that Kyler Murray is going to be the QB1, and I think so too. I mean, J.J. McCarthy just has not had the best start to his NFL career. He was obviously out in year 1. Sam Darnold took over, got the Vikings to 14-3, took them to the playoffs, lost in the wild card round of the playoffs in 2024, and then he ends up going to Seattle, wins a Super Bowl. J.J. McCarthy took over last year, and he was just it was a rough year for him, in and out on the injured list. And I think Minnesota wants to solve this issue. And a lot of people think that Kyler Murray might end up being the QB1 in Minnesota for the foreseeable future. And I'll say this, if Kyler Murray shows progression and improvement from his past in Arizona, and Minnesota likes what he sees, I say J.J. McCarthy gets traded. And I've been saying it for a while now. I think J.J. McCarthy gets traded. I do. I don't see him being in Minnesota long. I see J.J. McCarthy being traded in a player-for-player swap with Indianapolis. And we see Anthony Richardson come to Minnesota. I think Anthony Richardson's landing spot is Minnesota with a trade. I do, and I've been saying it for a while now. Because it seems like Kevin O'Connell's the only head coach in this league, and I'm sure there's other ones that just haven't been very vocal, but out of the coaches that have been vocal about it, he seems to be the most positive about Anthony Richardson, thinking that he's going to be able to, pick things up in his career and everything. He's a young player, and he's still pretty decent. And I think him going to Minnesota would be a good thing, especially having a head coach like Kevin O'Connell behind you that can help you, raise your confidence. But Kyler Murray progressing in Minnesota, I could see it, and I could see him taking over that team. Like I always say, some players just aren't meant to be on certain rosters, and Arizona was not the place for Kyler Murray. It wasn't. And I think people are going to think that this is his final shot, and Minnesota's going to be it. And I think he'll shine in Minnesota. I think he will. I think he'll shine in Minnesota. Cam Ward is the next quarterback on the list from the Tennessee Titans going into year 2. Now, Cam Ward didn't have a bad year last year. We know the Tennessee Titans were not the best team in the league. I mean, they had, 3 wins, 4 wins. It was a rough year for Tennessee. And I think it's going to be a rough year for Tennessee this year, too. Could I see them winning 1 or 2 more games than they did last year? I could. And it's going to be because of Cam Ward. But Tennessee needs to start putting players around him so he can get the progression going and start improving. I mean, he's improving, but the problem is he has to carry the team on his back, and you don't want your young quarterback doing that. No. You don't want him doing things like Michael Vick did in the past for the Atlanta Falcons. You know, you don't want that. This is a new league. This is a new... I mean, it's so different nowadays than it was back then, and you don't want your quarterback going through that. You don't. So, next player on the list is with the wide receivers, Ricky Pearsall of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't think Ricky Pearsall had too bad of a year last year. I mean, he did pretty decent. Wasn't a bad year for him. I mean, you got to think of it this way. The San Francisco 49ers going through some of the changes that they did on offense, Deebo Samuels being gone, Brandon Ayuk being out for the year. You know, Ricky Pearsall, for the most part, did not have a bad year. He didn't. He has 67 catches in his career, 928 yards. Okay, 3 touchdown catches. 2024 wasn't the best year for him. 2025, he played in 9 games. He's played in 20 games in his career. So he didn't do too bad as far as the yardage. But I could see, making sure you're in more games. Making sure you're getting the ball a lot more. 67 catches in your career in 2 years. That's rough. That is rough, I'll say that. But he wasn't bad as far as yardage. And you want to get those touchdown numbers up. That's where I think he needs to improve, is getting those touchdown numbers up. I mean, obviously he can't control who Brock Purdy throws the ball to, but get open and he's throwing the ball to you. So we'll have to see if Ricky Pearsall's improves in 2026. Next wide receiver on the list is Adonai Mitchell of the New York Jets. So Adonai Mitchell, a very young wide receiver for the New York Jets. I think he's going into his second or third. I think he's going into his 3rd year this year, I believe. Yeah, this is year 4 for him. 1, 2, 3. Hold on. Yeah. 1, 2. This is year 3. He was with the Colts in 2024, beginning of 2025. Then he went to the Jets. 56 catches, 765 yards in 2 seasons. Yeah. Now the question's going to lie: does he improve in New York? I mean, we know where the Jets are right now. We know the state of the Jets right now. And yeah, could there be improvement out in New York for Adonai? I mean, number one, you got to get your quarterback in line. And when you look at where the Jets are, even at the quarterback position right now, it's not too promising. So for him to go out to New York and have improvement, that's rough. It could happen. I mean, you never know, but we'll have to see. Next wide receiver on the list, Treylon Burks of the Washington Commanders. He was in Tennessee in 2022, 23, and 24, and then he went to Washington in 2025. 35 games in 4 years, 63 catches, and 829 yards. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the wide receiver pool in Washington, you knew Treylon Burks was not a number 1. Was he even a number 2 or 3? No, Deebo was there. So, I mean, yeah, Treylon Burks is going to have to step up in Washington because Deebo's not there. So does he fill the shoes that Deebo Samuels was filling last year? Who knows? I mean, looking at his stats, I mean, I think he could have had a lot better stats, seeing that he's in Washington. So I don't know. We would have to, keep our eye out for Treylon Burks and see if he can progress, because he definitely needs to improve. So, next player on the list, right guard of the Detroit Lions, Tate Ratledge. Okay, so here's the thing: is there's no stats on this guy. I mean, he got drafted in 2025, second round. Really no stats on him. He's an offensive lineman. I mean, what stats is he really going to have? There's not really any stats of blocking or anything like that. They could just show the improvement that they have and show better on the blocking the pass rush and everything. I mean, no stats for offensive linemen. I mean, it'd be cool if they kept stats for offensive linemen, but they don't. So they have an award for offensive linemen, which is great. I like that they have an award for offensive linemen. I'll say that. All right. Next player on the list is Walter Nolan, defensive tackle of the Arizona Cardinals. We're getting on the defensive side of the ball now. I'm going to say this right now. Walter Nolan is one of my favorite defensive tackles on Madden. And I know that's, stupid to say probably, but he's one of my favorite defensive tackles on Madden. When I was playing my Cardinals franchise, he was a beast for me. But that doesn't contain to what he gives in real life. In real life, he played his first season in 2025. He played in 6 games, had 11 total tackles, 8 solo, 3 assisted, and he had 2 sacks. Okay, he had 1 fumble recovery for 7 yards, which is, there you go. You got a fumble recovery. Walter Nolan, I mean, obviously he's going to have to work on more of his pass rush and his run stopping. And, defensive tackles, when you're playing defensive tackle, you can rack up the stats of tackling, if the running back goes up the middle, but you're mainly, trying to sack the quarterback. That's what defensive tackles do. So we're not going to see ridiculous stats from him, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 tackles a year. It's not happening. He's got to show the improvement of getting to the quarterback quicker. He's got to show that he could, stop a running back from running up the middle, depending on what side he plays on when it's defensive tackle. When he's a defensive tackle, left or right side of the defense tackle. If he plays nose tackle, he's squared up with the center, and that playing nose tackle is a lot harder to break off and make tackles when running backs are coming up the middle, or if you're trying to sack the quarterback. So, I think Walter Nolan, we should see some improvement from him this season. Hopefully, because like I said, he was one of my favorite players in Madden, but Madden doesn't attest to what you see in real life. I mean, it's Madden, So Jonathan Grenard, he's been in the league. This is going to be his 7th season. Okay, he spent his first 4 years out in Houston, the last 2 years in Minnesota, and now he's in Philadelphia. 78 total games in his career, 217 tackles, 138 solos, 79 assisted, 38 sacks on his career with 8 forced fumbles. Okay, not bad, not too bad. And I think him going to Philadelphia, he's going to improve. He's definitely going to improve. I mean, the defensive, coaching staff that is out in Philadelphia, I mean, they have the hyper focus of making sure that their defense is one of the top defenses in football every year. And Philadelphia, they're in the top, I want to say 15 every year. They're in that front half of defenses every year. And, the past couple of days, we heard the announcement that Cooper DeJean is not playing cornerback anymore. He's going to be playing more of the safety role, So I'm curious to see what the new look defense is going to have, what these linebackers roles are going to be, what Jonathan Grenard as a linebacker's role is going to be, what type of formations they're going to run, because apparently things are going to be new in Philadelphia. I mean, it seems like it sounds like they've revamped a lot of stuff in Philadelphia, and I'm excited to see what the Eagles coaching staff has put together for this team. So we'll have to see. Last on the list, or no, we got a defensive back, Xavier Watts, safety of the Atlanta Falcons. Yes, I'm gonna admit I'm cheating because I didn't write down the player stats. Normally I had my notes ready for me, but I was just lazy. It was hot here the past couple days, and I didn't do too much work on preparations for this segment, but get the list together. Okay, so year 2 for Xavier Watts this year. In year 1, he played all 17 games, 96 total tackles. He had 59 solo, 37 assisted. For fumble recovery, and he had 5 interceptions on the year. I mean, what improvement does he need? I'm wondering why he's on this list. I mean, the guy has almost 100 tackles. He has a fumble recovery and 5 interceptions. Like, what more do you want from this guy of improvement? I mean, yeah, he can improve. There's always room for improvement. This is the definition of room for improvement that there is, because does he realistically need to? The guy's in the top 50 when it comes to solo tackle rankings. He was tied for second in interceptions. Why does he need to be on the list? 28, tied for 28th in the PD category. Then forced fumbles. I mean, he didn't force any fumbles, so he's at the bottom of the barrel there. But what are we talking about? What improvement does this guy? I mean, yeah, there's always room for improvement. PD was pass defended, by the way. He's a safety. I mean, he's gonna 11 pass defenses on the year. That's not bad. Come on. Why is this guy on the list? I'm going to go look this up. I'm going to go see why this guy's on the list again. Because I read the article, but I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. Let's see why this guy's on the list. Okay, and this article comes from Nick Shook. He's a writer on around the NFL on NFL.com. And he does some pretty good work. I like his work. I do. It's pretty good work. Where's Xavier Watt? Here we go. Watt had an excellent rookie season, racking up 5 interceptions and 11 pass defenses on his way to finishing 4th in Defensive Rookies of the Year. Okay, so he was in the Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. That's a high bar to exceed, but it also indicative of how much faith I have in Watts, a player I could not believe was still available in the latter portion of the 2025 NFL Draft 3rd round. Yeah, it was very surprising he was available when we got around to the 3rd round in the draft in 2025, because you thought this guy was going to go in the first 2 rounds. Did. Seriously. I remember this. Watts' enamel and the perfect fit for Jeff Ulbricht's defense, which he demonstrated as a rookie, obviously. Now he's poised to build upon that sparkling debut. Circle back to this nugget when he posts even better numbers in year 2. So where does the improvement need to be? You're talking this guy up like, hey, he's going to do what he did last year, but 3 times better. So why is he on this list? I knew there was going to be one. I knew there was going to be one that we had to question, and this one's it. Xavier Watt of the Atlanta Falcons. Come on now. Last on the list is the Los Angeles Rams pass rush. I told you there was a full defense on this list. I mean, you look at the Los Angeles Rams pass rush, they just added Myles Garrett. Okay? Obviously, one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher in football today. 23 sacks on the year, broke the single-season sack record last year. I think other players are going to flirt around that this year. I think we might see a TJ Watt flirting around that this year. I think we might see, other edge rushers flirting around that record this year. 23 sacks is very impressive. But the past couple years, we've seen players flirt around tying the record. TJ Watt did it. He tied the record twice at 22.5. So the question is this record getting easier to touch? Because, it looks that way, right? Let's go look at the players. Let's go look at the defensive list, and let's see who our top sackers were from 2025. So NFL defensive player stats 2025. Okay. NFL player defense stats 2025. I think this is going to give us the full list. Okay, here we go. This should be it. If I circulate this right, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so Myles Garrett, obviously 23 sacks on the year. Brian Burns of the New York Giants finished in second with 16.5. Daniel Hunter of the Houston Texans, 15. Aiden Hutchinson in Detroit, 14.5. Nick Bonito, 14 out in Denver. Tuli Tuipulotu of the Chargers had 13. Micah Parsons had 12.5, even though his season was cut a little short. Josh Sweat had 12. Josh Sweat of the Arizona Cardinals. Will Anderson of the Houston Texans had 12. Byron Young of the Los Angeles Rams had 12. Elquanim Muhammad of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 11. Jeffrey Simmons of the Tennessee Titans had 11. Cam Jordan of the New Orleans Saints just re-signed with the New Orleans Saints. We talked about him last week. 10.5. James Pierce Jr. of the Atlanta Falcons, 10.5. Montez Sweat of the Chicago Bears and Max Crosby of the Raiders and Chase Young of the Saints, 10. Okay, those are the top 15, basically. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. That's top 16, 17. Top 17 players with sacks last year. Okay, so the reason why I cut that off at 10 is because if a player has 10 sacks halfway through the year, it's like, okay, they're going to be flirting with that record by the end of this year. And that's what I mean. Again, Brian Burns finished in second place, 16.5. Okay. So that's what? 5.5 short. 23 minus 16.5, 6.5 short. Okay. Daniel Hunter, 8 short. It's flirting around that record. And these players are going to have the opportunity to do so again. It's a record to flirt around. So, and one player on the list from the Rams was on there. And now you have Myles Garrett, who's on the Rams. I mean, we're going to go back to that article and see what it fully says about the Rams pass rush. This could be another one where it's like, why are they on the list? But we're going to read it. Okay, so this is what Nick Shook writes about the Rams. I could select a proper running mate like Byron Young for this exercise, but why not include the entire pass rush unit? It's fitting after the Rams added a player like Myles Garrett's magnitude and will likely be visible in the numbers very soon. Consider this. LA owned the 19th ranked pass defense last season, but finished 9th in sacks percentage at a rate of 7.1 per next-gen stats. The Rams routinely pressured quarterbacks, but didn't always get home. Meanwhile, Cleveland landed at second in sacks percentage with a robust figure of 9.4, thanks to Myles Garrett's record-setting sack total of 23. The next two players on the Browns sack leaderboard, Malik Collins with 6.5 and Alex Wright with 5.5. Garrett carried this metric, but he'll lead the Rams attack, which is more talented than the Browns unit, and undoubtedly will benefit from the presence of number 95. Okay, so I get this. So now adding Myles Garrett to the list, it's the finish. Okay, it's the finish of getting the sack. It's not so much getting through and coming close. It's so much of finishing the job. And that is making sure you record that sack. Now, Jarrett Verse, who, let's face it, we didn't hear his name a lot last year. He's deemed as the next Myles Garrett when he got drafted. He's going into year 3 of his career. right? Okay. Played all 17 games in his first 2 years. Recorded 4.5 sacks in year 1, 7.5 in year 2. So he had a 3-sack improvement from year 1 to year 2. And he's going to Cleveland because he got traded there in the Myles Garrett trade. You know, there was improvement there. So now Cleveland's not expected to be in that spectrum of one of the best pass rushes. I don't know, because Jarrett Verse has shown improvement from year 1 to year 2. Okay. Now he had 66 total tackles in 2024. He had 58 in 2025. So that's 8 less. 36 solo in 24, 35 in 2025, 1 less. 30 assisted to 23, 7 less. But then he had 3 more sacks, 1 more forced fumble. Jarrett Verse will be improving in Cleveland because Cleveland has shown to be one of the top defenses in this league. So, yeah, the Rams added on to the pass rush to finish sacking, bringing Myles Garrett in. So I could see why they're on this list. I could see it. But that's all we got for the improvement of 2026 player progression segment for you guys. And that's all I got for you guys today. That's it. We're going to get out of here. Make sure you're heading over to the Huddle Podcast over on social media on TikTok, Instagram, X, and on Epic Studios at the Huddle Pod. You're going to hit that follow button over on the YouTube. You're going to hit that subscribe button. That's how you follow on the YouTube. And you're going to hit that follow button over on the Twitch at the Huddle Hub Podcast. All of our social media links are in the Twitch bio. You just click on the one you desire to go to because I know not everybody uses every social media. Help us build the Huddle Hub Podcast through the rest of the 2026 NFL offseason and beyond. If you want to follow me, TikTok, Instagram, X, and on YouTube at MetalMike714. I don't do much personally. I don't. I live stream once in a while, play video games, but I don't really do too much. I don't. I post stuff once in a while. But you can still follow me personally. All right, guys. That's all we got today. We're going to see you on the Tuesday edition of the Huddle Hub Podcast. Like I said, Johnny H plans on coming back on Tuesday. And we're going to start breaking down the college football season, conference by conference, starting off with the Sun Belt Conference on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your Sunday, guys. Be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Take care of each other. Be patient with each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. We'll see you on the Tuesday edition of the Huddle Podcast. Until then, have a great rest of your weekend. Deuces.